Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Trey Childress. I'm one of the founders of Remote Closing Mastery. I'm here with my boy Noah Ackman, who has been an absolute beast. He's absolutely crushed it the last couple of months in the inner circle. And Noah, if you just want to kind of give a little background about yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself before we jump into it.
Yeah, absolutely. What's going on, everybody? My name is Noah Ackman. I'm based out of Phoenix, Arizona here. I'm 22 years old, and I basically got into sales about 6 months ago now at this point. It's been a rough go, and I finally found the right mentorship, right guidance that definitely made the world of a difference for me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, talk a little bit about. I know you had like a pretty successful business like before getting into sales. Like, talk about a little bit what you did like before you ultimately got into this.
Yeah, so before sales, basically what happened was it just started as like a side gig throughout high school. Played sports in high school, so I didn't have much time to actually get a real job. I started just doing like a little side gig washing cars. It ended up being a pretty decent sized little mobile detailing company here in Arizona. And then I ended up just kind of getting burnt out, really. And so when it comes down to my experience before sales, it was really just running my own business. I just didn't know how to pull myself out of it. I just got burnt out. Just a little bit more manual labor than I was looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that happened, obviously you got really burnt out. And how did you come across sales and like how did you kind of get started? Like how did you kind of talk about that transition that you made from and you were making good money at, like talk about that transition
Yeah.
you made from, running that business and why you ultimately did it.
Yeah. I made the switch just because I couldn't see myself doing actually detailing and running that business for another 5, 10 years. So at 22, I was like, no better time to get out than now and make the change. So I actually contacted Caden, which I've known for a long time. We went to high school together and we know each other for a while before that as well. But it was really just, I reached out to him. I saw that he was really successful with what he's been doing lately. And so asked him kind of what the secret sauce is. And he kind of set me up a little bit. And really, the biggest thing is he introduced me to this whole other world of online sales that I didn't even really know was a thing. And so, really getting into it, it was completely a different world for me, going from doing manual labor to taking Zoom calls at home. But it's been a really, I would say it's been an easier transition than I was expecting.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And did you have like any other sales experience? I know it took you a little bit to get into a gig, but once you got in one, you were crushing it. Like, did you have
Yeah.
any other previous like sales experience in the past?
Absolutely not. No, I had just from the business, people would call in and I'd have to give them a quote and book the job for my business. But high ticket sales, nothing like this. I've never had any experience. No.
Gotcha. And like how long just talk about your journey because you had a very interesting one.
Yeah.
You kind of struggled and dude, the perseverance that you had to keep going and push through that was insane. So dude, just talk about, from getting into it, what that looked like, and then, talk about, after joining and what that looked like. So just give everyone like a brief rundown, since you reached out to Cade and you guys started talking and you got started.
Yeah. So I got into sales about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, if I'm really going to be closer to being honest. 7 months ago, I just found an offer. It started a little rough. I didn't really make any money for probably 3 or 4 months, to be honest with you. Then this past few months is really when I started to see some success. I joined the program about 3 months ago. I finally got onto an offer that is reputable, and that really made the biggest difference. Is getting onto a company that you know they have uh, they have a presence, and that was huge for me. Being able to get on a call with somebody and they actually know who the company is and why they're on the call. So um, when it came down to my process, it took a few months. Don't get me wrong, to get going and starting to see some money coming in, but once it did, that's when I really started to realize, wow, I've really never made this much money in my life before.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And about how long was it after like you joined that like things really started clicking? Because it all happened like very, very quick. How long after
Yeah,
you joined did things really start to pick up and you start seeing results?
yeah. So after joining the program, I'd say it was probably a good week and a half, 2 weeks before I actually got onto a company, and really started, nailing some calls. But that's really all it came down to is I joined the program, went through all the content, things like that, and then finally got on an offer that you guys provided, and it took about a week and a half.
Awesome. So you've been absolutely crushing it. I'm sure people want to kind of hear, what your numbers are and where you're at right now, if you don't mind sharing. I mean, talk about, what you ended up doing last month, what that was for you, and then ultimately best month so far.
Yeah, best month was in January. So I'm on a fitness offer right now, and so I think that kind of played into that a little bit with New Year's resolutions and things like that. But in January was my best month. I was just under 17 grand in commissions on that month, and last month I made just under 11. So went down a little bit. Not too happy about it, but just got to
Yeah.
work a little bit harder. Got to get back to that grind. But I mean, I really can't complain. I wasn't making that kind of money before sales, so um, just got to keep getting better.
Yeah, dude, that's absolutely it, man. That's absolutely it. And if you want to touch on a little bit, just like your overall experience, with remote sales. I know you had a rocky relationship at the start, but obviously things are going better now. Just touch on what your experience has been like overall.
Um, I really can't complain. Like I said, it's been a completely different world from what I've been used to. So that's probably been the biggest shift
Right.
is instead of waking up in the morning, going out to my truck and going loading up for the day. I walk to my office and that's about it. But as far as my experience with getting into sales, it is completely seamless. I mean, it was kind of overwhelming because there's so many different companies and so many different offers,
Yeah.
that you're just trying to find the best one and you want to do the best thing for yourself. And that is a little bit difficult trying to find the right one. And it took me a few months, to figure that out. But
Of course.
um, my overall experience has been great.
That's great, man. I'm really glad you're talking about too, because I think like it's nice for everyone to hear the full story on everyone. Not everyone's going to come in here and crush it their very first week. You know what I mean? And for you to
Right.
be able to come in and you grinded for those first couple months, didn't see any results, and now look who you are. So I think you're a perfect example of what perseverance can get you. Obviously, and you see it inside too. We have a lot of guys that are crushing it, but it doesn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? Like you need to be
Right.
prepared to be able to grind like without seeing results immediately. So, dude, props to you for doing that. That's really really cool. And just with your experience so far, since joining the inner circle, was there anything in particular that stuck out to you so far about your experience in the live calls and working with Caden and I? Like, is there anything in particular that you just liked or that stood out to you the most about the program so far?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got two things then. First would be the wins channel in the Discord. That is huge. There's nothing more motivating than seeing people, going in, posting their wins. It just makes me want to hop on the next call and try to get that one closed so I can post it in the wins channel.
Yeah.
That was huge for me, being able to have that community feel. But the live calls were another thing because I take a lot of calls throughout the day. And so having just like a little 30-minute break in there to hop on a live call, listen to everybody, give updates, listen to a call review, those kinds of things. It definitely is a good mental reset to then get ready and take that next call.
Dude, 100%, man. 100%. The win channel definitely is motivating. It's definitely cool to see like kind of everybody's wins, and it does push you. So it is really
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad to hear your feedback on the live calls as well. So, I mean, I guess last question, man. Like, what would you say maybe to someone who's hesitant to get into remote sales, or someone who's maybe hesitant on the fence about like joining the inner circle? Like, do you have any advice to what you would say to that person?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone was more hesitant than I was, really. I mean, I had a successful business going into it.
Six figure
It
business.
was
It was close.
yeah. My last few months were I was on track to make six figures if I was on that same pace.
Right.
But I ended up, parting ways with it, unfortunately. But that's really where just the hesitation of getting into it, because I did have something that was successful, that was growing.
Yeah.
It was hard to let that go by all means, but it really was that hesitation up at the start, and then once I went fully in, that's when I started to fully see success. You
Right.
know, and so once I fully, invested in mentorship and things like that, which I didn't think I was going to need, I always thought that, oh, I'm a good communicator, I could probably do this, without teaching. There's way more to it. And that's really where after making that jump and, really taking it seriously, getting into a mentorship program, things like that. That's when I really started to see the success. So if anyone's hesitant, I mean, I can honestly say it's probably been the best thing that I've ever done as far as making that next jump for myself. Because will I stay into sales forever? Probably not. But it's one of those things where now, I have a conversation with my parents and I realize like, oh, maybe a little too salesy right now. I need to lighten up. So it's just one of those things you use in, your day-to-day life. And, it should be a hesitation to get started, but I would definitely recommend it just because it will be that positive shift in the rest of your life, really,
Yeah.
not just in work, but also in how you communicate with everybody else.
Yeah, dude, that's phenomenal advice, man. I think you really did, hit the nail on the head there. Well, dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on here and kind of give us
Yeah,
a in your story. I think that was super, super cool. Do you have any last words, anything that you want to say before we hop on?
no, no, I
Okay.
guess just a good chat out would be good. I mean, you guys have been great as far as creating a user-friendly platform, really making sure that it's easy to go through. I have had no complaints, but the biggest thing is you guys are there pushing us. You guys are sharing your wins. You guys are doing this and that, and it's just good to have some of that camaraderie.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, like I said, thanks so much for hopping on here, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thanks, Trey.
What's up, guys? Caden here, and I hope you enjoyed this interview. If you did and you want to get into remote closing or appointment setting, and you want to do so by being coached by me and Trey one-on-one until you become successful, book a call below. There's going to be a link somewhere in the description here where you can book in directly with myself or Trey to talk about our coaching program and how we can work together one-on-one to get you to $7,000 to $25,000 per month with remote sales. So if you're interested, you want to talk about the coaching program and working with us directly to get you to your goals, book a call below and we'll see you soon.